Hello, my name is David and we're with Driver's Therapy, and in this video series we're going to be talking about the steering wheel upgrade on a 991.1 to a 991.2 steering wheel. Now our car has the original and infamous steering wheel that has the shifter buttons. It is very odd, and it also has the multi-function display toggle switches on it, or roller switches. And it also has the heater function. So I originally got this idea from a fellow owner. He told me that this was possible. So I did a deep dive to make sure that I could get all the information and get all the parts right. So first off, I'm going to show you what I have. And in this video, we're going to go over the options, the parts that I have, the different options and routes you could go through. And then on the later videos, we're going to do the full install. So make sure that you subscribe and follow along because we have a lot of great videos. All right, now let's talk about what we have in front of us. Well, first off, we purchased our parts, the steering wheel and the airbag, from suncoastparts.com. And I'm really glad I did because these are genuine Porsche parts. And you guys watching, you guys love Porsches or have a Porsche, and you know it's important to make sure that we keep with those original OEM parts. And I really wanted to emphasize that I feel comfortable and great about getting an OEM steering wheel and airbag. So I went with the 991.2 multi-function steering wheel with the traditional paddle shifters. I went with leather, and I have a heated steering wheel, so it also has a heated function. And this is a very unique steering wheel, especially compared to the one that we have. This looks more modern, it looks more sportier, but the main reason why I wanted to do this was so we could convert those paddle buttons to paddle shifters. And that's going to just change the entire driving experience. So besides the aesthetic look, the functionality of the paddle shifters will transform the usability of the car. So that was my main purpose for the steering wheel. This steering wheel itself, not cheap, but definitely a Porsche part. Smells good, smells like real leather, looks good. So we have the steering wheel, and then the airbag. We have to talk about the airbag. So I'm all about safety. My wife is about to graduate from law school, and she talks about all the classes and liability and all the stuff that happens with accidents and all that. And to be honest with you, having a OEM airbag that matches the steering wheel, it just feels good. It just feels safe. So I also wanted to buy my parts from a reputable shop or somewhere that I know that I was going to get something real. And the reason why is because there is a lot of counterfeit parts out there, and there's a lot of rebagging. So human beings are quite creative, both in a positive and negative way. And unfortunately, people have literally learned how to restuff and rebuild and refurbish airbags, and they look great. And to the uncommon eye or to the untrained eye, you might not know the difference. Also, there's a lot of counterfeits out there. So when you're dealing with airbags and stuff like that, I wanted to make sure that I was ordering my parts from a reputable shop. So moving on to the next thing. So I'm really excited because I got connected with Paul, who is the founder and the owner of the company GPS Adapter Steering Wheel. And he originally had the same setup with the thumb shifters and that steering wheel that I have on my 2012. And he's an engineer, and he decided to create a solution and provide a way how to make this conversion work, where this new steering wheel works with the multi-function display, where your heater function still works, and the paddle shifter conversion and everything still works. And I think it's incredible because when we have people like this in the car community, this makes this possible. So my thing is, we've been working on cars for years or decades. Over a decade now, I think decades. Oh my gosh, I'm old. Yes, decades. And I could tell, especially when I get something, if I don't feel comfortable with it, I'm out. Like, I'll just put these parts on eBay and I'm good to go. But Paul's professionalism and his engineering mindset automatically put me at ease because I realized, like, this guy knows what he's talking about. So what he did is he literally constructed these harnesses, and we're going to be doing some in-depth installation videos. We're going to be doing a video how to connect this harness to the steering wheel and connect it to the car, and then we're going to do a full install video. But these harnesses are literally created for this conversion, and they look good. The heat shrink, the wiring, it looks legit. It doesn't look cheap. It looks well made. It looks like there was a lot of thought put into this. And I'm not the first person to do this conversion. As a matter of fact, this has been going on for a while. I'm just the first person who's going to document the process and go real in depth into the information. So people have already had success with this. This is kind of like the go-to product out there. And the only thing is, I just wanted to give you my feedback that I think Paul and his company is it's awesome. I'm really pumped up. And here is our heater switch, which we are going to have to do a conversion and stuff like that. So what type of options do you have? So if you're in the same situation as me, if you have a 2012 and you don't have traditional paddle shifters, or you want to update the aesthetic look of your steering wheel, what kind of options do you have? Well, there's really about 3 or 4 different steering wheels you could get. And here's a couple pictures of them. You could get the leather version like I have, or you could get the Alcantara version. There's an Alcantara version as this. There is a wood version, or mahogany, I think I'm saying that right, version. But there's also versions that don't include the multifunction display. So it's important to know what you have and where you want to go to, and make sure that you're getting the right kits and the right steering wheels. So for me, I have the multifunction display. So this is the steering wheel right here, and this is where you're going to turn stuff and deal with stuff and volume and the multifunction display, you know, navigation and stuff like that. And then mine has a heated function, so we needed the extra sensor. And I wanted to go from the thumbs to the paddle shifters, and I wanted a original kind of look, the 991.2 look, and of course with the matching steering wheel. Now, you could use other steering wheels. As a matter of fact, I believe you could use a Macan steering wheel as well. There's the steering wheels that you could use. There's a bunch of them. But when you're matching them with the harness itself, you've got to know a couple simple things, like, do you have multifunction display? Yes or no? And think of it like a tree. So in a diagnostic tree, you're going to go through steps, right? So you need to ask yourself, you know, do you have multifunction display? Yes or no? Do you have the steering wheel heater function? Yes or no? And then you're going to ask yourself, are you okay with staying with what you have? And if so, then you're going to go with a certain harness that GPS offers, and it kind of breaks it all down. You can go from a no multifunction display option to a multifunction display option, meaning you could go from a steering wheel that doesn't have all this to a steering wheel that does have this, so you can navigate through stuff. The only thing is, it's going to require a different harness. It's going to require a different installation approach. But he does offer that. Now, one of the things I do want to mention is, if you see this button down here, this toggle button, this is really cool, because instead of you reaching down on the center console and punching some buttons, you could actually, you know, punch some buttons right there. And in the center button, I believe, is like a scramble button for the boost and all that for 991.2. I think this is really cool, because this really makes it awesome. Like, I'm super pumped up. But this function is part of the X harness that GPS offers, and this is going to be connected to the center console, and it's just a plug and play solution where it uses a Bluetooth telemetry to communicate. When you press this button, it's going to communicate that to the center console via the inline harness, and it's going to switch the driving mode, which is super cool. A lot of this information is on the GPS websites for the harness. We're going to show you how we're going to be installing it in the harness, and then we're going to show you how we're going to be installing it inside the car, the whole package. I am super excited, because this is not just a modification or an upgrade. This is necessary when definitely wanting to improve your driving experience and going to the traditional PDK paddles, or dual clutch paddles, which in my opinion is a must. All right, guys, well, leave any comments you have. We really appreciate you watching. Like I said, we have different videos that are going to be coming out. They're not going to be coming out back to back, because we do videos on the NSX and other things. We're going to do them as we get ready to do them. So make sure you subscribe, so you could actually be notified when we do put out the harness install video and the install video in the car. All right, guys, thank you for watching.